Yes, indeed. Welcome into the third season of Rip N Riff. I'd say nobody thought we'd make it this far, but I don't think anybody had an opinion on it anyway. I am at Pucking Thoughts, and the man to my right is at Mr. Jared Moore. Jared, fresh off for Labor Day weekend a couple days ago, NFL season kicking off tomorrow. Pretty good time on the sports calendar.
Pretty good time, and hopefully much like certainly my favorite TV show of all time, and I know one of yours as well. Hopefully, like The Simpsons, season 3 is really about the time we start taking off bigger and better things. Because, this is a very controversial take from me in regards to The Simpsons. Season 1, not very good.
You know, when people say like, oh, the golden years of season 1 to season 10 or whatever, it's like that first season, like, yes, it's like raw and stuff. It's an okay season, but yeah, like you said, they start to take off. Season 3 is when that to me is the golden era.
There's a lot of weird stuff from season 1 of The Simpsons, like the shock therapy episode when Homer was the mature one in the family.
Right.
The episode where Smithers was black because they hadn't decided like what race he's going to be yet. Just stuff like that.
A lot of trial and error that season, and then season 2 they start to really figure out what's going on there. And then great show. But we drop Simpson references all the time in here. If you catch any, throw it out in the comments there. But
I call the big one Bitey.
That's another classic. Hopefully no Wookiees get bent today. So we're going to be doing all football today with the NFL season kicking off tomorrow with the Chiefs and the Ravens in Kansas City Stadium. It'll always be Arrowhead Stadium to me. I don't know. What is it? Gayha Field or whatever it is now, or what? I don't know. But nonetheless, season kicking off with Thursday Night Football. Then we got Eagles, Packers in Brazil, which not a lot of the players are thrilled about Friday. And then our usual Sunday, Monday lineup. So there we go. Let's see what packs we're going to be doing today. Jared, it's all football. You're going to be kicking us off with, I believe, some 2023 rookies and stars.
Well, we're going to do 2021 rookies and stars, not 2023. But yes, a little modern pack there with some of the rookies. And we have that. And we also have a 1990 Pro set cards. And during season 1, we did a lot of mystery slabs, and if you'll remember, I pulled a few Emmitt Smith rookie cards from this pack. So maybe we'll pull another Emmitt Smith rookie card. Who knows? Maybe I'll corner the market on it.
I feel like there's still like 8 million 1990 Pro set packs still out there. Talk about overproduced. That was definitely one of the sets. But so you got that going, and then the 2021. The rookies and all-star and stars there. I'm going to be doing, and then I got the 1991 NFL football upper deck pack here, just kind of keeping with the early 90s. And then we're going Peyton Manning rookie hunting today. We are 1998 score, some other really good rookies in that class. You know, you're talking Randy Moss, Charles Woodson. Obviously, got to throw Ryan Leaf in with Peyton Manning, Fred Taylor, Hines Ward. So there you go. And then that 91 upper deck, Brett Favre, Ricky Waters, Herman Moore rookies. So could get some nice rookies here today. Now, it's been a couple of weeks since we've done a proper Rip and Rant, and I think we're itching to do one today. I know Jarrett's got a good one, so let's kick it off. It's time to kick things off on Rip and Riff with
my Rip and Rant.
Thanks, Dave. Well, now I might have one after that, but nonetheless, here we go. Jared, you kick things off today, and but mine is not really a rant. I'm just going to show some of the cards I got at the San Francisco Bay Card and Collectible Convention over the weekend. Please kick us off here.
Nice, yeah, almost an impromptu version of I Love Lucy. So there you go.
There you go.
So my Rip and Rant this week, and I'm going to keep it very simple. And pardon the language I'm about to use. If you're going to post on the internet that you're going to eat dog shit out of a red Solo cup with a spoon if Florida State loses to BC, you got to deliver on that promise. And look, I get it. I get the nature of what the guy said. And this is why you don't say things like that on the internet, because people will keep receipts. They will call you out when, when inevitably the game that you're never supposed to lose, you wind up losing it. So, yeah, you expect people like me to rag on people like that for, not delivering on their promise to eat shit. And speaking of eating shit, by the way, how about that Florida State start to the season? Couldn't happen to a better team with all of the whining and crying about missing the playoffs last year, the lawsuits against the ACC, the arrogance, the sense of entitlement from, the program, their fans, the players, the coach. only to turn around and lose to the likes of Georgia Tech and Boston College the first 2 games to start the season. They can't lose enough this year, as far as I'm concerned. I hope they go 3-9.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, whatever side of the fence you stood on, they got a raw deal, whether they should have gotten to the playoff or not. But like, they spent way too much time belly aching about it, and this is what happens. Instead of just focusing on what the hand you're dealt, stop worrying about the hand you should have gotten. And this is a fallout of that.
Yeah, so it couldn't be more out on Florida State. So that's all I got today on that.
And to go back to what you said, like, nobody told this guy you have to bet eating dog crap. On the like, you could have done anything. You could have said, I will jump into a pool of freezing water. Like, you could have done a lot of things that don't involve ingesting things that you don't need to ingest. You put that out there. Don't welch. We want to see, like, you know,
I gotta be honest. Like, you were about to say, we want to see you deliver. I actually don't want to see it, but
I just want proof.
Right. I want to know that he did it and that he's actually true to his word.
How about this?
We'll his social media accounts.
We've seen most of us seen this movie Step Brothers, where the young kids bully the two Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly, and they make them lick the old dog poop. I would settle for that. You just have to lick the poop. You don't even have to eat it. You just got to lick it. That's it. You're free.
Plus, it was so specific. Out of a red Solo cup with a spoon.
It's almost like he had it like ready to go. You know, I don't know. I mean, maybe he just had a sleeve of red Solo cups in the garage, and I don't know. But bottom line is, yes, it was oddly specific. And now that it happened, like. And now you're going to welch? I mean, listen, there is video from a prior job of me singing a portion of a Taylor Swift song because I lost a bet with Howard Bender. Do I like to sing? No. Do I like to sing on the internet? Especially no. Did I honor my bet? Yes. And that's what it boils down to. So, you know, maybe eat some crap, literally and figuratively. So my mine for today is, like I said, I went to the card and collectible convention over the weekend. I'm not going to show off everything I got. I didn't get anything to end. Budget doesn't allow for that. But let's go. But let's start here. This was probably one of my favorites over there. We got a number 10 of 30 Fabric Reflections Curtis Martin patch card there. Game used. Pretty nice.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I know how you're a huge Curtis Martin guy. So that's a very nice add to the collection. That
was one of those where you're flipping through. You see that? You don't even think twice. That's in my hand. We're getting that. That probably overpaid a little bit for that one, but I got by the sparkly green Ahmad Sauce Gardner background there. The Elite there, Panini Elite, that looks like a pretty good one. A couple of autographs here, not so much for Chancey Stunky, but I was a big Jericho Cotchery fan. So got a good deal on all these. Good card vendors there. Can't wait to go to the next one out in the East Bay in Concord, October 5th. We got a numbered 71 of 99 Panini Classics Don Maynard. I also picked up some Joe Namath cards over the weekend. I like that one right there. Anytime you could get a little Michael Jordan base card, you pick it up. And I just love that picture of him about to dunk in Madison Square Garden. I mean, if there's a quintessential Michael Jordan base card, that what is that, a 92, 93 upper deck? There it is.
Yeah, this is great. I love this.
I mean, like that again. It's a Michael Jordan base card, but that's a great Jordan shot there. And then a couple of hockey ones here to wrap things up. You know, this is not meant to, and I'm going to put this one down, and it's not intent to be flipped. But considering the events of the weekend, I felt like this card needed a good home because it's just a Johnny Gaudreau Artifacts base. But as you're flipping through and you see that after that happened, like, no, that's coming home with me. That needs to stay.
Yeah, just a really awful story over the weekend, and you know, I hate to get all preachy on the show, but like, get a goddamn Uber. Like, if you're gonna go out and just have too much to drink, get an Uber, get a taxi, get a friend to drive you home. Just don't get behind the wheel. Just that's all I have to really say about it.
And even if like, I don't have a credit card or whatever to do one of those, like most towns, unless you're really small, still have an old-fashioned car service you can call too. That'll come and take you home if Uber and Lyft are not an option, or like you said, a friend. Yeah, there's no excuse. You got feet. And now, you know, we're not going to get into all that. We don't want to kill the buzz of the show, but yeah, just a terrible thing that happened. It was completely unavoidable. And in these instances, it's always the asshole that pays the price and not the person that was minding their own business. That's what sucks about these drunk driving things. Back to the cards quick here before we get to our AFC and NFC West odds and our pack ripping. Saw this, a little William Eklund rookie card there, a little upper deck. Figure that might take a little bit of a boost this year. We'll see. A lot of young kids there in San Jose. Another thing I've gotten into is I'm trying to collect up any sort of Coyote stuff I see. So I just threw that little Howler sticker there and there. Why not, right?
I like that.
And then
it's gonna be weird a couple years from now when you don't see the Coyotes Kachina logo anymore, and I don't know when or if Arizona is ever going to get another NHL team. I assume they will eventually, but they might not. They're not guaranteed to get one in the next round of expansion. Let's just say that.
I mean, to talk to Quebec if you don't think that they're guaranteed. You know what I mean? Like, they've been waiting forever, and we know the NHL probably wants to go other places, but we'll see. I mean, they're at 32 teams. I don't think they can really expand anymore for the foreseeable future. And then lastly, this is not a sports card, and this is probably one that only I would get if I saw it, but I had to throw it in. A Walter Cronkite Panini America trading cards. My old
All right, you got to tell the story behind this, because I don't know what would possess you to get a Walter Cronkite card.
As a guy, we cut our teeth in radio. A couple, Edward R. Murrow, Walter Cronkite. Those are two of like the pinnacle of reporters from like the 40s and 50s, and set journalistic standards that have pretty much gone up in flames over the last 5 to 10 years. But nonetheless, they set a high bar for that. We talk about our favorite athletes and stuff like that, but professionally, Cronkite and Murrow, two guys that I always looked up to, read their biographies, all that stuff. And I'm flipping through cards and I see a random Walter Cronkite card in there, and I'm like, all right, it's like it wasn't even $3, whatever it was. I think the guy threw it in. I'm like, yeah, fine, give me Walter Cronkite.
All right, now I have a couple follow-up questions in regards to you going to this show this weekend.
Okay.
Because I've been to some video game conventions, but I haven't been to like a card show. So, what's the vibe of that like in terms of like walking around the different vendors and whatnot? Because I'm sure they have a lot of base stuff available. I'm sure they have a lot of graded stuff, high-end stuff available as well, depending on who the vendors are. And also, what was your experience like going through it as someone who was handing out pieces of Rip N Riff memorabilia?
So that did not go as well as I thought. I did have this shirt on here, and I'm sending one to you as well, so you'll have one, a little Rip N Riff tee. So I haven't been to a card convention in decades. So like walking in there, I mean, it's just a bit, this was at the Cow Palace in San Francisco, or South San Francisco, whatever you want to call it, Brisbane. And it was just like, you walk in and it's just a bunch of tables set up in aisles, and everybody's got, it's a lot of cards, some Pokemon stuff, some, like sports memorabilia, autographed helmets, like table to table. It varies depending upon the vendors there. That's where Ricky Pearsall actually was on his way to when he got shot for his Rolex over the weekend. He was supposed to sign at that card show Saturday, and obviously did not make it because he was, fighting for his life. Nonetheless, so yeah, and then but I went on Sunday, and so it was like by then a couple of the vendors I talked to were like, yeah, this is like nothing like yesterday. Well, like Sunday was much more vibe, relaxed and less people there. But each vendor basically has like their expensive cards in these big old displays with box on them, and then they have like the typical boxes. Some are better at organizing and separating and dividing by teams or player or era than others. And then I just it was a lot of football, a lot of baseball, a lot of basketball, not a ton of hockey. That was the one thing. Also, there were a lot of boxes and stuff, but like to just buy loose packs, there was not really a big selection on that. That I was a little disappointed by.
That would be very disappointed with the fact that you couldn't really buy loose packs. But I'm sort of interested with that, and I would guess since you went on a Sunday, the general I don't want to say it's like a set rule in stone with like video game conventions, but I find that Sundays when you go to a video game convention, you could actually get some pretty decent deals on the stuff there because the vendors just don't want to haul all this crap back.
Exactly.
And I'm sure there's a lot of that as well with the card collection, even though the cards are smaller and it's easier to move those around. So is it a similar vibe there?
Absolutely. The more you get, I have the business card from this one guy up in Oregon, KAN Cards. He gave me a lot of those prices you saw as I was going through. I did not pay what was on the sticker or whatever, because they're, like you said, less stuff that they have to put in their car and drive back to wherever they're driving to, the better. So yeah, it was a good vibe. Like I said, the next time I go, I'll go on a Saturday. The next couple I'm going to will be on Saturdays, so I'll get a much better vibe, I guess, and more busy then. But I was trying to put cards out, talking to vendors, the Rip and Riff stuff. I put them on windshields. I left them out where I could, but people kept tossing them to staff. I was like, okay, I see your game. But nonetheless, we're trying to get the word out there. Rip and Riff, we love doing this. And that's a little Rip and Rant there for this episode, season 3, episode 1. We've been talking divisional odds and win totals here. Let's start. I wanted to bring one thing up on the screen, the transition here. Now, Jim Harbaugh making his return to the NFL this weekend as a NFL head
Oh,
coach
yeah.
of the Chargers. So I am a Derek Thomas collector. Love him as a kid. I just bought a few like random base insert Derek Thomas's, and this one came up. And like, if you're Jim Harbaugh, you need to have a better look that they did him no favors there. I mean, Derek Thomas, first of all, that's like a 15-yard penalty in today's NFL, potential ejection. But I mean, what did Jim Harbaugh do to the person that selected this photo for the Derek Thomas card?
I feel like Jim Harbaugh, as much as I think he's a great coach, I think he rubs a lot of people the wrong way. He was actually talking about that the other day where I think somebody asked, one of the reporters or maybe just asked him about like, hey, why do people not like you? And I don't remember exactly what his response was, but I guess it's just the way he carries himself. There's a bit of a arrogance and a know-it-allism, I guess, when it comes to him. But we've talked a lot about unflattering cards here, and that's certainly up there on the list.
For sure. So, Derek Thomas, the Kansas City Chiefs, and, the brothers, Harbaugh, Jim, and John will be facing each other whatever week Thanksgiving week is. I believe they play on Monday Night Football that week as well. So those two will get to battle this year as well.
That might be a fun sub collection to go down one day. And when you go to one of these card conventions, maybe just take like $20, put it aside, and just find as many unflattering photos in the cards as you can.
It doesn't matter who it is. Could be a nobody, but if it's a good, I think that's not a bad idea as an alternate thing to be looking out for besides who you PC, at these card conventions. But without further ado, let's bring the AFC West odds up on the screen. And like I said, I don't think there's really a lot of meat on the bone here. We're within a day or two of the season, so you're not going to get great odds either. Nonetheless, we take a look here, and they got the Chiefs at -270, the Chargers at +390. The Raiders at +1,000, the Broncos at +2,000. So not going to there's really nothing here that jumps out at me with the division. I think we all wouldn't think the Chiefs are going to win. Anything in the over win totals over and under there?
I would say two of them jump out at me. Chiefs over 11.5 wins. If Patrick Mahomes is healthy and with the roster that they have, I don't see how they don't win 12 or 13 games. Because that's basically what they do every single season, if not just win 14 games. And they're certainly going to be in the mix to be the one seed in the AFC once again. So I certainly like that one. I also like the Raiders under 6.5. And the fact that I'm getting plus money with that, I would argue that's the worst quarterback situation in the NFL. I would argue they're one of the worst rosters in the NFL. I don't think Devontae Adams is a lock to be on that team past the trade deadline, which I think certainly would have an impact. They do have some pieces on defense that I like Max Crosby, and I know they signed my guy Christian Wilkins this offseason. But for the most part, I don't like a lot of the pieces on that team. And I think they're clearly probably the worst team in that division. I'd even put the Broncos ahead of them just because I feel better about the direction of the Broncos long term than I do with the Raiders. And push comes to shove, who are you going to put your trust in? You're going to put your trust in Sean Payton, who's been a head coach in the NFL for 2 decades and has won a Super Bowl, and Bo Nix, who he might be an old rookie, but he's still has a lot of upside as the starting quarterback this year. You're going to put your trust in them, or you're going to put your trust in Antonio Pierce and Gardner Minshew?
Yeah, and also the coaching too, and it's not a knock on Antonio Pierce, but I got my faith that Sean Payton maybe could finally get the team turning in the right direction, more than what the Raiders are going to do, like you said, especially with Devontae Adams probably on his way out the door. The Chargers are too much of a wild card. I don't know what to expect there, so I don't really want to get involved with any of that. But like you said, maybe the Chiefs have a tough year, but even so, at the under at -108, no real value there. Let's take a look here at the NFC West, and similar vibe here. Division, maybe you think the Rams can make a run at it. But I mean, it's the 49ers division to lose, although, the fact that they think that, the over is +116 for 11.5 wins and the under is -142, that it jumps out at me a little bit there as is intriguing just to think about why that might be. But, maybe the Rams, there's really nothing else here. Like I said, you get this close to the season, neither of these divisions have much to offer.
Yeah, the two that I was going to look for, before you pulled this graphic up, where the Seahawks over on the win total and the Rams over on the win total, and you're paying the juice for both of them. So I would just stay away in general. I do still think the 49ers are the class of the division, and they got some good news yesterday with Trent Williams agreeing to a restructured contract, so he'll be there in week 1. Brandon Ayuk's going to be there. Christian McCaffrey's return to practice. I'm sure as a Jets fan who's going to see the 49ers in week 1, you're absolutely thrilled at all these wonderful developments for the 49ers going into that Monday night game. So that's neither here nor there, but I still think the Niners are the class of that division, and I think Seattle's still a really good team. I think they have a chance to be pretty good this upcoming season. And I actually think Geno Smith's better than he gets credit for in terms of being like a deep passer, and they got a ton of offensive weapons. So I really like Seattle there. I do like the Rams there. I don't think the Cardinals will be that bad either, but I'm just not taking the over. I think they're still probably the worst team in that division, and if they're going to be the worst team in that division, I'm not taking the over with them. So to me, the NFC West is just a total stay away.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I saved these divisions last. Part of the reason I saved the West for last was because there was the whole Brandon Ayuk thing, and I didn't want to talk about that until that was settled. That finally got settled anyway. But yeah, we didn't spend as much time on these divisions as the other ones, just because the other ones had more to offer there. But there you go. We're taking a look at the AFC and NFC West divisional odds and win totals. All right, time to get ripping packs here of football cards for the celebration of the NFL season officially kicking off tomorrow. We'll go reverse chronologically. Jared, you got some 2021 Panini Rookies and Stars. Let's how many packs of those you got? Let's kick off there.
Just one pack. 10 cards in this pack, and then 14 cards in the pro set pack. Whenever we get to that, so
perfect.
If you don't mind pulling up the East Coast cam for me, that would be much appreciated.
And the infamous Samsung cable box.
Yeah, the infamous dusty Samsung cable box that I will never dust off. So we start with a star, old face in a new place this upcoming season, the one and only Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry, behind Lamar Jackson. Some people say that is exactly the running back that offense needs. We'll see how things go in Baltimore this year, and we'll see how things go tomorrow night.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, we said this when the signing happened. Derrick Henry going to the Baltimore Ravens is the most Baltimore Ravens ass signing to ever happen.
Yes.
Established veteran on the back nine of his career, just going there to play out the string. So shout out to him. Jameis Winston, here picture with the Saints. I believe now he's with the Cleveland Browns as one of their backup quarterbacks. So shout out to old famous Jameis there.
Apparently a wizard of pregame speeches and hype speeches. So,
yeah, you can't eat enough W's there with Jameis. One of the best receivers in the league, Tyreek Hill. So this starts us out nicely here with some of the stars of the league. Although we're going to be using the term very loosely with this next player I'm about to show you here, Danny Dimes, Daniel Jones.
Talk about a make or break season for somebody, huh?
Oh man, I expect the Giants to be dreadful this year. Look, I don't want the Giants to be bad, but I want them to move on from Daniel Jones because I know he's not the guy. So if it turns out they go 5-12 and they realize that Daniel Jones is not the guy and they sit him with 4 weeks left in the season so the injury guarantees don't kick in and we have to watch Drew Lock play out the string, then so be it.
Giants over 6.5 wins, plus 104, under minus 128.
Yeah, good luck with that. And Ben Roethlisberger, our last star of this pack.
Oh, so there we go. 2 weeks in a row we pulled Ben Roethlisberger on the show. I pulled one out of a 2007, I believe, upper deck pack, jumbo pack last week. So there we go.
Yeah, and 2021 that might be a Ben Roethlisberger last card as well. So put that one off to the side.
There we go.
Very much like the look of this card. I wish it was a better player, unfortunately, given the circumstances. But Trey Lance, rookie card there with a Crusade insert card there.
That is a really nice looking card.
Yeah, that's a gorgeous card. That's a card that would go for a couple bucks at that little Cow Palace card show there.
It would definitely go for a couple of bucks. There was a lot, and that was another thing. Like some of this, you talk about the sellers, how they break things up. They would have like 49ers, like tabs, A's tabs. They were smart about it, but that doesn't really work for me.
Yep. Mac Jones draft class rookie card. So nice picture of him holding up the jersey there.
It'd be fun to go back in a time machine and tell Mac Jones and Trevor Lawrence, like, hey, you two are going to be on the Jaguars together in a few years, and see what the reaction would be.
Well, it's funny you mentioned Trevor Lawrence because that's literally the next card in the pack right there.
That's eerie. Hey, that's coincidental, but that's a little eerie.
We have an action-packed insert card here, an insert with DeMarcus Lawrence. So I guess I was wrong about that being the last rookie card, the last star card in the pack.
You get great pass rusher there. Pre Micah Parsons. Now they got Parsons handling all that.
And last but not least, we got a Rashad Bateman rookie card there. Then rookie receiver with the Baltimore Ravens. So overall, pretty solid pack. Obviously, the pull from this pack, from as far as I'm concerned, is Trey Lance. Trey Lance is my guy. I still think Trey Lance should be a good NFL quarterback. He certainly has the skill set to be it. I don't know. Now, granted, he had a dreadful preseason game where he threw 5 interceptions for the Cowboys, but it's preseason. Eli Manning had a lot of games where he threw a lot of interceptions too, and he turned out pretty okay. So
it would be worst case scenario for Dak Prescott, but the best thing that could happen to Trey Lance is a Dak Prescott injury, so he gets a chance to just go out there and be like, all right, here's your chance. Prove yourself as much or as little as you can.
The problem with that is I think they would play Cooper Rush.
Yeah, that's
Cooper Rush is the backup, and Cooper Rush might be better than Trey Lance.
Yeah, I mean, when he came into when he had to play, he held the fort for him. Like, he didn't go out and win games for him, but he definitely managed them well enough.
All right. Do you want me to open this other pack, or do you want to stick with chronological order?
Nah, we're gonna just change things on a fly here. Let's go to 1990 Pro Set here, and then I'll take it from 91 back to 98. We'll go that way.
All right, nice. I like that. And I saw one of the rookie cards in this pack was our guy Rich Gannon. Hopefully, we actually pull that card. If we do, I'm gonna text him a photo of it. See if I can get him to sign it. We start with win a trip to the Pro Bowl in NFL memorabilia. There's 2 ways to win. I guess this isn't even a card. Oh yeah, it like opens, scratch off.
Good old Aloha Stadium back then.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to win a trip to Hawaii if that's on in the cards. So,
that's when the Pro Bowl started to lose its allure. When travel became a little bit easier, and these guys' contracts got better, and all of a sudden they can go to Hawaii on their own dime without batting an eye. Going to Hawaii for the Pro Bowl started to lose its allure there.
Yeah, that's what killed the Pro Bowl, and not the fact that nobody wants to tackle at the end of a long season.
That, and you know what I miss is the old punt, pass, and kick competitions. But they'd have the quarterbacks would have the farthest throw competition. They would throw at the targets. That stuff was awesome. It was basically a skills competition. They won't do that anymore because God forbid somebody gets hurt or pulls a hammy. But those were fun to watch. Marino, Elway, Montana, having a skills competition. That was fun.
Yep. So we start off here with one of our guys. So we've pulled him before in the show, Carl Banks, the man, the legend, the myth himself.
There's very few rules on Rip N Riff, but one of them is we will not tolerate any besmirching of Carl Banks here. That's just not allowed. And that is a great picture. That is a great action shot there of him tackling. Looks like maybe Kurt Warner there in that classic 90s Giant look.
Yeah, also love that classic neck roll that he's sporting there.
Hey, that helps prevent your neck from snapping back. That's good.
Yep. Tyrone Braxton, cornerback with the Broncos. Nice shot of him in coverage there.
The pro set looks pretty basic, but they really nailed it there. The team colors, your emphasis on the photo, a little bit of a logo, nothing crazy there. Good stuff.
Yep. Bob Golick, D tackle with the Raiders. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Bob Golick, was he the one who appeared on the
college years?
I was going to say Saved by the Bell, the college years, right?
Yes.
I didn't want to mix up the college years and the season where they were at that summer resort with
with Mr. Tuttle.
With Mr. Tuttle and I guess Leah Remini was on that season, right?
Yeah, that was the daughter. Yeah. A different season, but yes. But I actually like that random season where they work at the beach club. I think that's quality Saved by the Bell.
They just don't make quality TV shows like that anymore. Eric McMillan, Pro Bowl with the Jets. So nice one there for you as a Jets fan.
Oh yeah, I love that green
A,
stands
cou-
out on that helmet.
a couple legendary coaches right here. George Seifert with the Niners. Legend might be pushing it a little bit, but he's a good head coach.
I gotta say, he was kind of riding Bill Walsh's coattails a little bit, because after they won that Super Bowl 24 when they blew out the Broncos with Seifert as head coach, then what? They won 29 against the Chargers, and that was it. That was still Steve Young doing all that.
A better use of the word legend, and someone who's near and dear to both our hearts, Marty Schottenheimer.
The late great Marty Schottenheimer. So that guy, he used to host on NFL radio, and it didn't matter if he was doing morning shift, afternoon shift, evening shift. Marty, how's it going? Never better. Oh, it just always had a positive, if he had a bad day, you had no idea.
You had no idea. I love Marty. So rest easy, Marty. Mike Dial, tight end with the Raiders. We'll go through the rest of these pretty quickly. Tim Harris with the Packers, giving the thumbs up there, probably after a sack. Tim McGee making a catch here for the Bengals. Nice diving catch there. So these are some really good action shots. Nick Lowry, kicker with the Chiefs.
I miss the old single bar face mask that the kickers used to wear.
So do I. Yeah, they're just so great. Couple 1990 Pro Bowl cards. Rodney Holman with the Bengals, tight end, and David Fulcher, a safety with the Cincinnati Bengals. A Hall of Fame selection card from that year with Jack Lambert, the legendary Pittsburgh Steeler. Fred Marion might be he's not a rookie card, but we got a Fred Marion card here. And last but not least, the official NFL card of Super Bowl 11 at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. So a nice shot there of what was presumably the cover for the program for that game.
Raiders beat the Vikings in that Super Bowl. That was John Madden's one Super Bowl victory. I believe that was the Vikings' fourth Super Bowl loss at that point, because they had lost to the Dolphins. They had lost to the Steelers.
Gives you all the information on the back. Pop singer Vicky Carr sang America the Beautiful. Yep. And Don Meredith on the play-by-play. And Fred Biletnikoff, the MVP. Doesn't appear there's any mention here of John Mayer, but John Madden, excuse me, not John Mayer.
John Mayer would be an impressive mention on that.
Well, John Mayer would be as well, but I said John Mayer.
Oh, okay. Any of the three.
Yeah. Shout out to John Mayer, who was at the Mets game last night. Saw him on the TV.
I mean, if Madden was still alive, that'd be a pretty cool foursome there. John Mara, John Madden, John Mayer.
Yeah, and it's great because this that time of year with in New York where the U.S. Open's going on. It's in the second week right now. So they were actually joking around during the broadcast that John Mayer is probably checking out a couple innings here at the Mets game before heading over to the U.S. Open.
I used to go, but when I still live in New York, but I would go to like night 1, 2, 3, one of those with my dad every year. It's a really cool experience to just go. Like, you got tennis going on all different courts. I mean, it's a fun event. You get it, even if you're not a tennis fan, it's fun. Worth checking.
It's one of those things I say every year that like I need to go do this once, even though I'm not a tennis guy, and then I never do it.
Do it one year. It's worth it. I know it's a little bit of a drive for you as well, but like it's worth it.
It's not that bad. It's about an hour.
All right, so we got some 19, and actually, speaking of tennis, I have some tennis cards that came in the mail. Courtesy of Anthony Rivera pointing these out to me, so I had to buy a pack. We'll have to crack those open sometime soon here. It's Chrome Refractor per box there. Topps Chrome Tennis 2024. We'll do that one.
We'll have to save that for Wimbledon.
Yes, Wimbledon, or it's got to be Wimbledon. That's the best one. So here we go. We got West Coast Rip Cam coming up on the screen. 1991 Upper Deck. We got a Viking wearing 84, but it's not Randy Moss. It's Hassan Jones instead. A little before Randy Moss's time, but maybe we'll get a Randy Moss rookie in the 98 score pack coming up here. So stay tuned for that. Jim Lachey. I mean, if that's not a Washington Redskins Hogs like quintessential look there, I would not want to have to block that guy coming across.
No, it's not. And you got the striping on the helmet, like chipping off and whatnot. Like that's a guy who's clearly worn that helmet for the last 3 years.
And he's made good use of that helmet. We got a checklist there. Speaking of of great NFL offensive linemen from that era, Bills center Kent Hull. one of the best in the business at that time, working with Jim Kelly all those years. Let's see what we got here. We don't have a lot of great ones in this one pack. Let's see. We got Harry Hamilton, which sounds like a TV character name from the 80s. Chris Good from the Colts. If you need a large amount of marijuana transferred and you want him to get caught, there's Nate Newton. Like, didn't he have like 60 pounds of pot or something like that when he got caught, which is just an absurd amount of marijuana.
Yeah, I feel like you would know the details of the story better than me.
Nonetheless, yeah, he yeah, but great offensive lineman, part of that Cowboys offensive line of the 90s. Nate Newton, Larry Allen, Mark Tuinay, who was a distant family member on my wife's side. He let him rest in peace. I've met his brother who played in the NFL. He's not a guy I'd want to mess with either. One of those like really, really nice guys, but if you ever crossed him, like, oh my God. And then we got a checklist there. And then a couple of rookies here coming up at the end of the pack. Again, not a great pack. We got Michael Jackson, who was a good receiver briefly there in the early to mid 90s. Defensive end Kenny Walker. Sean Jefferson, who had a little bit of a career. And then last but not least, maybe in a similar mode as Carl Banks, we got Brian Cox there, rookie with the Miami Dolphins.
These are some great rookie cards. Yeah, I like that. And Brian Cox played a long time in the league, so very cool to pull him. Good Lord, that neck roll, man. That is, I mean, I know he was one of the things he was famous for, but that looks like something you would put on. That looks like the NASCAR the stock car harness,
like the safety harness. Yeah, either that looks like it's part of like your ejection seat in a fighter jet, like that comes with you, kind of thing. Like that, like that's what that kind of looks like too. But yeah, I mean, nobody wears neck rolls like that anymore.
No, I guess the players just feel it's too big and bulky and it slows them down. But yeah, man, and I like that it says rookie there in big letters there in the bottom right corner as well.
Yeah, it says rookie. What does that say? Rookie Force. Rookie Force. Good job. Better eyes than I do, and you're 2,500 miles away. Brian Cox, Dolphins, Bears, Jets, Patriots, and Saints. I actually have a Brian Cox Bears starting lineup. That Bill pretended it was Khalil Mack instead because he thought that was kind of lame. Nonetheless, that's the 91 upper deck pack. Let's get that out of the way. It's time to go Peyton Manning rookie chasing. Got two packs, 10 cards a pop. Let's see what we can do here. It's a good ripping sound there. We'll say that. Okay, so let's see here. We start off with James Stewart, running back from the Jaguars there. Cool looking card. Score always was on the cutting edge of like design and like trying to do something different than everybody else. Ooh, here we go. We got from one running back to another one. Terrell Davis offseason there with the Denver Broncos. Got to do the Terrell Davis.
Nice one to pull.
There we go.
Why does it say off season?
I guess, yeah, what does it say off season? Away from the huddle, Terrell doesn't stray far from football, listing Madden 97 as his favorite video game. Terrell majored in consumer economics at Georgia, where he followed a long line of legendary Bulldogs, including Herschel Walker and Garrison Hurst. I guess like what they do in the offseason, that is not the best idea for a subset or an insert set. Hey, what do you do when you have free time? Let's make a card out of it.
Yeah, and that's clearly the PG version of what these guys are doing during the offseason.
And going back to the Cowboys, what happened in the White House stays in the White House. We got Jason Dunn with the Eagles there. Let's see here. We do have a Marcus Nash rookie. Why is he pictured in a ball pit? I have no idea. That is a very odd card there. Nonetheless, there he is in a ball pit.
Yeah, and that rocks because ball pits rock.
They're not like teaming with germs and crap or anything. Not at all. Let's see here. We got Dexter Coakley, who was a good linebacker in his day, played for a few teams, picture with the Cowboys there. Byron Hanspard with the Falcons there, kick returner. Are you buying in on the Falcons this year? Are you big on Atlanta? Do you think they're going to take that big jump that people thought they might have taken last year?
I mean, I don't know necessarily about a big jump, but I think the Falcons will be better this upcoming season. And I don't think it's a particularly strong division for them to come out of. I mean, the Falcons could win 10 games, and that might be enough to win the NFC South. So I can certainly see Atlanta being that team.
All right. We got David Palmer here from the Vikings. going to wrap up pack number 1 here with 3 more cards to go. We got a former All-Pro safety Dale Carter, picture with the Chiefs there. And we close with a couple of quarterbacks here. We got good old Mark Brunell from the Jacksonville Jaguars. They'd probably take his play right now over Trevor Lawrence. And we finish with this pack with another offseason card here. It's Cordell Stewart, a.k.a. Slash. Let's see what he likes to do in the offseason. Cordell majored in communications at Colorado, where he holds school records for completions, attempts, completion percentage, yardage, and TD passes. Probably not at all those anymore, but it doesn't talk about what he does in the offseason. Is he like Madden 97? I don't know.
Maybe. You would think with someone like Cordell Stewart, who majored in communications and certainly had a notable NFL career and was notable for, his play style and having a famous nickname, that he would have had more of a post-media career. But I guess he didn't want it in terms of like doing like NFL games or, a studio show or something along those lines.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely for a while, like he was it for a while, because like he was like they didn't have quarterbacks like that. Like he was able to do it all. Like he was well ahead of his time. So that's pack 1. We got one more pack to go before we do the starting lineup figure 5 and get on out of here till next week's edition of Rip and Riff. We start off with Darian Gordon here, Broncos cornerback. I believe he also was a return guy for them at some points. Let's see here. Talk about the Broncos earlier. We got Sean Dawkins with the Colts. See how their receiver situation shakes out this year after Michael Pittman. You got Adonai Mitchell. You got Alec Pierce. You got Josh Downs. Going to be interesting to see how that goes. Let's go back-to-back 49ers here. First, we got Ken Norton Jr. Great career there with the 49ers and the Cowboys. And now we got another offseason here. This one is Mr. Steve Young.
Now, what does Steve Young like to do in the offseason?
Let's see. Steve Young earned his law degree from Brigham Young University in 1994. He once appeared as a contestant on the game show Wheel of Fortune and had a guest spot as himself on Beverly Hills 90210. So we talked a little Saved by the Bell earlier. Beverly Hills 90210, right in that era. Good for Steve Young.
Yeah, shout out to Steve Young. Now we just need the quarterback who appeared on Melrose Place, and we're all set.
And he was another guy that was also a little ahead of his time, too. Like, he would have been a massive quarterback in today's day and age. We got a former Saints running back there, Mario Bates, but he got traded to the Cardinals that year. So there we go. We've got Chiefs running back Greg Hill. We got David Meggett pictured with the Patriots here. And let's close this pack strong. 3 cards to go. No Peyton Manning rookie, but we do have a Ricky Waters base card there. We traded to the Seahawks, but pictured with the Eagles. Then we got my favorite running back of all time, one of my favorite athletes of all time, Mr. Barry Sanders. Now, he's not a guy I expect to do much in the offseason besides work out and eat right. So let's see what he does in his offseason. Away from the gridiron, Barry is known as one of the NFL's most humble and soft-spoken players. Quote, he's a good young man, says his mother, Shirley Sanders. I like to think we did something right. That's nice.
That's not what he did in the offseason. That's just the card saying he's a good guy.
I think what happened is they asked Barry, what do you do in the offseason? And he gave such a bland answer. They're like, we can't put that on the card. What are we going to do? He lifts weights. What are we going to
do? Let's reach out to Mama Sanders and find out.
I mean, that'll go in my Barry collection, that's for sure. But that's one of the weaker Barry Sanders insert set cards that we ever see there. Love the guy. Not a great card. Now, the man pictured on the pack is not the rookie we're looking for, but it is the rookie we got, Ryan Leaf.
Oh, man. I mean, look, I like Ryan Leaf. Disclosure, I know I've worked with Ryan Leaf a little bit in the past, so I don't know that I want to necessarily go as far as to say good guy. Certainly an interesting guy. He's led an interesting life, and very good on the air, very open and honest about the mistakes that he's made along the way. So I think a lot of people could learn a lot of things from listening to Ryan Leaf talk.
That's the thing, because he did have the career goes all the way down in the pits, but he didn't stay in the pits. He found his way out. He worked his way out of it. So yeah, more people should know his story. I didn't really get to work with him because that was a little bit after that was right after I left, but I do know somebody that did get to work with him for a while. even before he was really rebuilding his career again, and said, he's a good dude. He's kind of learned from his ways and all that stuff and what went wrong. So there we got a Ryan Leaf rookie, number 2 overall pick in that draft, a little Barry Sanders card there in the offseason. Not a ton of candidates here for pull of the day. I don't know what mine's going to be. I guess I'll go with the Ryan Leaf one. I mean, is that the pull of the day for me? Probably. It's not Barry Sanders.
Yeah, I'm going to go Trey Lance here, even though I kind of wish for the insert card it was a little bit of a more notable player than Trey Lance, but it's got the nice glossy finish. It's certainly a very aesthetically pleasing card. So that would be my pick for this one.
And still time for Trey Lance rookie card, not rookie card, but that Trey Lance card to have some value versus, my Ryan Leaf rookie card that is already topped off many, many times years ago. Here we go. All right, so there's our pack rips for the day. We still got starting lineup figure 5 to go. Sorry, I almost took you off the screen there for a minute. We're going to starting lineup figure 5 time here. And it's been football all day, so why don't we just keep it with football? And with that, Jared, you may take your first of 5 questions.
Is this player in the Pro Football Hall of Fame?
He sure is.
He sure is. One of the all-time greats here. Did this player win a Super Bowl?
1 Super Bowl.
Is this player a quarterback?
Yes. So you got 2 to go. And I will remind you, these can come from any era prior to the 2000s.
Right. Oh, all right. Oh, so that's interesting. Yeah, because we go pretty far back, I suppose. Have you already mentioned this player on the show today?
Yes, briefly. And what's funny is one of the cards that came out was the other guy I was considering to do a starting lineup for today. So we're not thinking about that guy. We're thinking about the guy that I briefly mentioned at some point in the show.
Is it Joe Namath?
The fuck out of here. You didn't even need the 5th question.
I did not need the 5th question.
Oh wow! I mean, you've been on fire lately. Like
you gave away too much. You gave away too much information with it. This could go back to any era because I was leaning Brett Favre until you said that.
But I also I wanted to open it up, and then maybe that opened it up too much. But let's get rid of the figure 5 bet. This guy's already got it. Yes, I did mention Joe Namath earlier in the show. I gotten his cards again.
By the way, we never established the parameters. If I have extra questions to go and I throw a guess out and it's wrong, do I still get another question, or is my guess the guess?
No. You have 5 questions to ask, however you use them. So you can go, is it player X? Is it player Y? Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So in theory, I could just name 5 random players.
Correct. I don't know how fun that would be, but nonetheless, there we got the Joe Namath card there, a really old picture. All right. This is the Alabama Joe Namath. I do have a Jets Joe Namath back there. I've been wanting to unbox this one for a while. How do you feel like a guy like Joe Namath belongs in the Hall of Fame? I mean, the 1 Super Bowl victory, the guarantee, but I mean, a lot of interceptions. There's a lot of people that are like, I don't know if he's a Hall of Famer. I mean, he led the league in passing 3 times. Kind of a gunslinger.
Look, all I know about Joe Namath, aside from what he did with the Jets, is that he warned us about the dangers of vapor lock on The Simpsons.
That's true. He was the spokesperson for that.
So for that, he's the Hall of Famer in my book.
Do you know that I was at the Joe Namath, Susie Colbert, I Want to Kiss You game? I didn't know what had happened until I had gotten home late that night.
I didn't know you were at that game. Yeah, obviously you wouldn't have any idea sitting at Giant Stadium that night. But
so it was a Saturday night game against the Patriots. It was one of the coldest nights of my life. Like I stood up to go to the bathroom and I almost fell because my knees, from my kneecaps down, were frozen. And I had no idea. And I think the Patriots won that game. And then we got home and I'm like, what's all this hubbub? Because, there's no internet, there's no Twitter, there's no any of that. So
I'm sure you don't remember, but do you actually remember what the temperature was at that game?
Oh, I don't remember
Probably
what
like in
it
the
was.
20s would be my guess.
All I remember about that day was that my college roommate John graduated in December that year. We went to the ceremony. We went out for like an early dinner, and then me and him just drove right down. Left his family, and then me and him drove down to the Meadowlands for the game.
I say that because like anybody who's sat in like the Meadowlands in like December will say that's the coldest they've ever been in their life. Just sitting, in the upper deck there with the way the winds swirl there. Like my brother was in marching band as when he was in high school, so we used to go down to Giant Stadium every December for they would have like the big marching band competition, whatever, at the end of the year. So we would know, like, as a family, all right, we're gonna have to get hot chocolate at the concession stands. We're gonna have to bring like blankets and hoodies and really bundle up. And this is one of those things where they didn't really do a good job of telling you when the band would go on. So you would just like sit there for a while until they actually went on. And then at that point, like, you couldn't actually leave because you had to wait till like the end of the show. So
yeah, you can't be rude and leave those things early, even after your kids are already gone on. And yeah, that game was like a December 20th, like ish game. So that was like middle of December. One of the other coldest nights of my life was a late November Jets Browns 4:00 kickoff, and it was just freezing rain, sleeting throughout the game. Like, it was just miserable.
Oh, miserable. Yeah. If you've ever been to a football game like that, it's just a miserable experience.
And the Meadowlands too had the wind issues. Like, the winds there would swirl. They would, it was bad. But nonetheless, Joe Namath gets on box today, finally, after a couple of years there stuck in the garage. And he's going to join the starting lineup studio audience. Now, I decided to do what I like to call the Tropicana All-Stars, all the juice here, because we got Jose Canseco out of the box last week. So 1998 Canseco there next to our 2001 Mark McGuire starting lineup 2. We got Chuck Knobloch there in the middle with the Twins, Andy Pettit, and of course Barry Bonds on the left. 1996 starting lineup, 97 for Pettit, and a 98 for Knobloch. So there you go, the Tropicana All-Stars.
Yeah, our greatest living ball player in Barry Bonds. And look, Andy Pettit, look, he only did it the one time. That's what he said anyways in the Mitchell Report, and I'm going to choose to believe him. He only did it the one time coming back from an injury, totally justifiable.
Yeah, that's okay. He was just trying to get back on the field.
Yeah, if anything, that shows me he cares, that he actually wants it.
He's risking his health and his body so he can get back out there a couple of starts sooner, just because you may have bought tickets and you want to see Pettit pitch.
And you know what? If that doesn't make him a true Yankee, I don't know what does.
That's what I want in my Yankees. That's for sure. That they need a little bit more of that.
Right.
It's going to be an interesting fall here with the playoffs about a month away. But yeah, don't forget, folks, we got that was a fun episode today. Rate, review, subscribe on YouTube at Rip N Riff, also X/Twitter, Facebook at the same handles there. Content comes out throughout the week, stuff from the show, maybe some other stuff. Whatever we got, we like to put it out there. You can find Jared at Mr. Jared Moore and me at Pucking Thoughts. And also, Jared, you got the poker going on here at Jared Moore Poker, if I'm not mistaken.
I do, yes. New shorts every Tuesday and Thursday. So look out for that.
I like that. Shorts every Tuesday and Thursday. Sometimes Jared wins, sometimes you loses. There's a lesson learned every time, though. That's what matters. And also, I got Total Hockey Now, new episodes. We've moved to Thursdays. New episode will be out this Thursday. We do a mock draft every week. We take a look either at division odds or ranked positions. So this week, I believe we're looking at the Metropolitan Division odds and also another mock draft. So be sure to check out Total Hockey Now. Now, before I get out of here, that's a really nice Yankee hat, and I'm sorry I have not commented on it until we're almost an hour in here, but that is a sharp-looking Yankees hat there, and it needs to be addressed.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it. Yeah, this it sort of looks almost like it's like a diamond or something, and no, it's just it's plastic, whatever it is, just the way the way it's cut. But yeah, it's certainly looks nice and blingy. I like this hat.
It's a nice one, and yeah, keep that one clean. But for at Mr. Jared Moore, I'm at Pucking Thoughts. We'll be back with you next Wednesday with an all-new episode of Rip and Riff. We'll have NFL football to talk about finally. That'll be fun.
Oh, yeah. How about that?
So one of our fantasy players will get injured somewhere along the way. We'll talk more about that, though. And yeah, next week, Rip and Riff. Be here. We'll see you soon.